All right, so now let's get to the progressions that we will use for the sprint workouts. And this will be the last thing that we cover. Speed development, wickets are always a staple. And for speed development, I will work in the realm of 50 to 70 meters. For some, it could be, even 30 to more so 30 to 50 for the beginners. For me, I mainly stay in that zone of 50 to 70. Could be 40 meters as well. But we'll progress from fast, easy, fast. I will use 20, 20, 20. You could vary it as well. It could be 10, 15, 10, whatever you need to do to vary it. Then we'll merge to flies, 10 to 20 or 10 to 30 meter flies, and then full speed runs over 50 to 70 meters. Could also possibly go to 80 if needed. And remember, we're touching on GPP and SPP a little bit during that first 3 weeks. And then for SE, speed endurance progression, speed endurance, I categorize that as 80 to 150 meter zone. And for that, we're always going to work our way up. So within a workout, we're going to work our way up. And from the progression, we're going to work our way up. So we're not just going to go full on and blast 150s. We're going to progress from 80, work our way up. And within the workout, if we have 80, 100, 120 planned, for example, we're going to keep it in that order. We're not going to descend and go 120, 100, 80. It's just my philosophy. I believe your fastest run, which is obviously going to be your 80, that's where you're going to reach the highest max velocity, should be first. For special endurance is the 150 to 300. We work down. So within a workout, it could be 300, 250 for that workout, or 180, 150, for example. But when we progress it, we're going to go down as well. So 300, 250, 200, 180, 150 is kind of like the standard progression that I would use. Sometimes we don't, do runs over 200. Oftentimes, probably not even over 180. And one thing that I forgot to mention earlier is special endurance. We can include that on our Excel days after. If we need some form of more speed endurance, then we can use this. I probably won't, just because I believe Excel and speed and top end are the core for running a fast 100, and then obviously speed endurance comes into play. But if you already have one day dedicated to that, that is sufficient enough. So speed endurance progression, we'll go segment runs, 18, 21, 15, 19, 22, 16 is just a standard progression. We might only have 3 weeks of segment runs. We might have 6 weeks. We might have 9 weeks. We don't know because of the weather in South Dakota. So the segment runs are done on a curved, self-propelled treadmill. So what I mean by that is 18 seconds, we're going 6, 6, 6. 6 seconds fast, 6 seconds faster, 6 seconds fastest. If you were on a track, you could maybe do 40, 40, 40, or 50, 50, 50. Customize it to how you want. And so each segment is getting faster. If you're percentages on it, it could be 85, 90, 95. Although I'm not a big percentage guy because not many athletes can gauge how fast they are really going. This is where it really gets tough for the speed endurance progression, because ideally we would like to get progress in outdoors, and we hope at the end of 3 weeks we can progress outdoors. Right now it's nice in February, but in next weekend it doesn't look so nice. Okay, so this would be early March, so we might still be on segment runs, or we might go to stacking split runs, which stacking split runs could be on the track if it was 150, 4x40 in between, 150, that's just a sample workout. Or it could be on the curve, then hop off, run, a short Excel. Those serve just as depletions towards the Excel, and it's actually really hard. Or we could do short split runs. or short speed endurance as well. Although I'm not a huge fan of short speed endurance, because typically with short speed endurance you have to do a lot of reps to really get the full benefit. For example, it would be something like, just throwing this out there, 3x3 by 60 meters. That's 9 by 60. I get the total volume is going to be similar to what we do here, but it's just like, that's a lot of times to excel. And if we're getting excel on these days as well, I just don't want to do it. I'd much rather do something like this setup. But and I get split runs are kind of the same, but they're a little bit different too. If that makes sense. Or we could do fast, easy, fast type variation, similar to segment runs, except that would be like, and even more similar to the fast, easy, fast we do on speed development, but it's more so of 30, 30, 30, which would be the 90 meters, or 40, 40, 40, which would be 120. You can vary it however you want, but it's like, let's say we're doing 40, 40, 40, 40 meters, you're running fast, 40 meter basically float or easy, so to speak, and then 40 meters fast again. They're also called ins and outs, kind of depends how you use your own terminology. And then we're going to progress to full speed endurance runs. That's where we're running fast, 120s, 130s, 150s, whatever the case may be. Also, on the speed endurance day, we are doing Excel, because obviously you're going to do Excel on every single day, but we're going to do short Excel. And the max I will ever go on this day is 20 meters, maybe even more so 15, but max will be 20 meters, because by the time we get past 20 meters, I was going 20 to 30 in 0.96 at one point this year. That's going faster than 10 meters per segment, so I don't want to do that. So we'll use heavy sled at 80% body weight, perhaps lighter, we will see, let's say 50 to 80%. And I get a lot of people out there, 10% rule. I'm not using it necessarily to develop speed. I'm using it to develop technique. Like we mentioned before, I had a problem. I wasn't using the power that I had, so we're going to touch on this and see how we like it. And it's more of a special strength exercise and really slows the movement down to hit the angles. And there's two arguments you can play with that story, because one could be, it's too slow to develop speed, which I agree with. But also, it could develop speed because mechanics improve. So it depends on your philosophy. And then we'll progress to short block runs. Short block starts would be a better term. For last, we got Excel, and the way we'll progress that is light sleds with contrast. Sleds would be a better term. That would be, 2 sled sprints, 1 unloaded sled. And on here, for these sleds, we will adhere to the 10% rule. Typically, I mainly use the 10% rule in terms of time, not necessarily weight. And then we'll progress to possible light sleds to keep a variation in there during the next cycle. But mainly I'll go to blocks, and that's where we'll really work on tech. We might have blocks in here, but it'll just be figuring out different angles and then just simply exiting the blocks like 5 meter bursts, which basically doesn't seem like much, but it does tax the CNS a little bit, so we do need to monitor that. But just so we figure out the things that we had problems with indoors and try to correct those, but this should help. Figure out the angles slower with a sled, translating that into a crouch start, 2-point crouch start, 3-point start, 4-point start, different variations, rather than just saying, hey, we're going to do blocks all the time. If you can't do it 2-point, you're not going to be able to do it in blocks. Let's put it that way. And then we'll go to full block runs, and this will be 10 to 40 meters for the Excel day, for the full block runs there. So that kind of like covers it all. I may have missed something. I probably did miss something. But I really just wanted to show you guys kind of my plan, how I go about things, kind of take you along with me on these 12 weeks to Orlando. I'm excited. I've always wanted to do some sort of vlog type series. I've always looked up to different guys, like Steve Cook, Christian Guzman, Max Tuning, so many different guys that have done been YouTubers and have basically changed their field and really showed their personality, I guess. And I really want to kind of show a little bit of my personality, kind of show races, behind the scenes of those races, the training footage, how I go about training, planning it, different things like that. Maybe a little bit of lifestyle. I like to remain a little bit more private on that, but and maybe just some random stuff like I'm a big Survivor fan. Maybe I'll talk Survivor with you guys, different things like that. And at the end of the day, I just want to have fun with it. If it benefits you, that is awesome because that's my goal. But I also want to enjoy it. I don't just want to make videos just to make videos. And I really don't care if I'm only getting 40 views a video. Like, a lot of people be like, why would you do this? But, like, I want to do it because I like it. Because then when I look back on it, it'll be kind of fun, like, to look back on what we did on this whiteboard and see, like I said at the beginning, I don't know everything. I'm 24. I'm an athlete / coach / personal trainer. I just want to continue to learn, continue to grow, and I think over these 12 weeks, hopefully you can see the progression that I will go through, and you can just join along for the ride, and hopefully we can reach our goals for this outdoor season. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching.